The Lantern of Dua. Once upon a time, in a small peaceful village surrounded by green fields and tall date trees, there lived a little girl named Amina. She was about 9 years old, with big curious eyes and a heart full of kindness. Amina lived with her mother and grandmother in a tiny clay house near the edge of the village. Her father had passed away when she was very young, so her mother worked hard every day sewing clothes for the villagers, while Amina helped her grandmother with small chores. Amina was a bright child, but lately she had been feeling sad. Her mother was falling sick often, and sometimes they did not have enough money to buy medicine or even proper food. Every night, Amina would look up at the sky filled with twinkling stars and whisper, "Ya Allah, please help Mama get better." She had learned from her grandmother that Allah listens to every dua, no matter how small. But still, she wondered if Allah could really hear her. One evening, after helping her grandmother fetch water, Amina wandered a little farther than usual toward the old well near the forest. The villagers always said no one should go there after sunset because strange lights sometimes appeared. But Amina, lost in her thoughts, didn't notice how dark it had become. Suddenly, her foot hit something hard buried under dry leaves. She bent down and brushed the dust away. There, half buried in the ground, was a small lantern, old and rusty, yet beautiful. Its glass was cracked in places, and the metal was covered in designs of stars and crescent moons. "Subhanallah," Amina whispered. She picked it up and shook off the dust. The lantern didn't have a candle inside, yet it gave a faint glow like the light of dawn. Amina felt a strange warmth in her hands. She quickly ran home, her little heart beating fast. At home, her grandmother looked surprised. "Where did you find that, my dear?" "By the old well," Amina said. "It was glowing." Her grandmother frowned slightly. "That old well is a mysterious place. But if you said Bismillah when you picked it up, then no harm will come to you. Remember, my child, always begin with Allah's name." That night, Amina placed the lantern by her bed. She whispered her nightly dua for her mother's health and soon fell asleep. In the middle of the night, she woke up to see something amazing. The lantern was glowing brightly, lighting the whole room with a golden light. It wasn't scary. It was peaceful and warm, like a soft hug. Amina stared at it, amazed. "Is this because of my dua?" she wondered. In the morning, she told her mother and grandmother what happened. Her grandmother smiled gently. "Maybe Allah has sent you a sign, my dear. When your heart is sincere, even the smallest dua shines in Allah's sight." From that day on, Amina prayed with more faith. Whenever she made dua for her mother, for her neighbors, or even for her friends at school, the lantern would begin to glow faintly. When her dua was full of true feeling, the light would become bright and beautiful. The villagers started calling it the Lantern of Dua. Word spread quickly through the village. People came to see it, and every time someone prayed sincerely beside it, the lantern would shimmer softly. It became a reminder for everyone that Allah listens to hearts filled with trust and sincerity, not just words spoken aloud. But soon, not everyone looked kindly upon it. One man, named Karim, who owned the richest shop in the village, began to feel jealous. "It's just a trick," he said. "There's no such thing as a lantern that glows by dua. The girl must be fooling people." He decided to prove it. One evening, he came to Amina's house and said proudly, "If your lantern is so magical, let me pray beside it." He sat down and raised his hands, but in his heart he didn't believe in what he was saying. He prayed only to test the lantern, not to talk to Allah. When he finished, nothing happened. The lantern stayed dark. Karim laughed loudly. "See? It's fake." Amina looked at him sadly. "Uncle Karim, maybe it didn't glow because your heart wasn't really making dua. Allah knows what's inside." The villagers murmured among themselves, realizing Amina was right. The lantern was not magic. It was a gift from Allah, a sign to remind people that dua only shines when the heart believes. Days passed, and Amina's mother grew sicker. One night, as rain poured heavily outside and thunder shook the sky, Amina sat beside her mother's bed crying. The lantern was beside her, but it was dim. She held it tightly and whispered, "Ya Allah, you are the most merciful. Please make my mama healthy again. I have no one but you." Her tears fell on the lantern's glass, and suddenly the light grew stronger than ever before, so bright that it filled the whole room. Her grandmother woke up and gasped, "Subhanallah! Look, Amina." The rain stopped outside and the air became calm. That night, Amina's mother's fever broke, and by morning she was sitting up, smiling weakly. From then on, the lantern stayed bright every night, like it carried the warmth of Amina's prayers. Amina's mother slowly recovered completely, and the family once again found peace. The villagers began to visit not to see magic, but to make dua together. They realized that the light of Iman, faith, and the power of dua could bring miracles, even without lanterns. One day, as Amina was cleaning the lantern, she noticed its glow had started to fade. She worried and asked her grandmother, "Nanny, why is it dim again?" Her grandmother smiled gently and said, "Maybe, my dear, its purpose is done." The real lantern was never this one of glass and metal, it was your heart. When your heart fills with faith, your dua shines brighter than any light. Amina understood. She carefully placed the lantern near the window where the morning sun touched it, and from then on, she kept her faith strong inside her. Whenever someone in the village felt sad or hopeless, Amina would tell them, "Don't give up. Talk to Allah. Your dua is a light. It may not glow in your hands, but it shines in the heavens." Years later, when Amina grew older and became a teacher, she often told her students the story of the lantern of dua. She told them how every believer has a light within, a light that grows stronger when we call upon Allah with sincerity, patience, and love. And though the old lantern no longer glowed, its story lit up the hearts of everyone who heard it. People began to pray more sincerely, trust Allah more deeply, and never lose hope, for they knew that even in the darkest night, a single true dua can bring the brightest light. And somewhere, deep in the corner of Amina's little home, when she would whisper her prayers in the quiet of the night, the old lantern would flicker once again, softly, as if smiling. Moral: when you make dua with true faith and trust in Allah, even the darkest times can shine with His light. Never doubt the power of a sincere prayer.